my local Cineworld on July 7th, I got to check out their secret screening, which was an early preview of Bring Her Back, which drops in August 1st in UK cinemas. Now this is directed by Danny and Michael Philippou, who previously did Talk to Me. I liked that movie, but I wasn't in love with it or enamored by it as many other people were. So when it came to Bring Her Back, I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, let's see what this has to offer. Bring Her Back focuses on Andy and Piper, who's played by Billy Barratt and Sora Wong. These two are stepbrother and stepsister. Now, in the first 5 minutes of Bring Her Back, the dad unfortunately passes away. So because of this sets up our premise. They go into a fostering system, and then the care worker, Sally Ann Upton, who plays the character of Wendy, says, okay, look, yous are going to be separated. However, Andy, the older brother's like, look, no, I don't want to be separated. I've got to take care of my stepsister who is visually impaired. So Wendy decides, okay, well, actually, we've got a foster home you guys can go to. You're going to be there for about 3 months. If you can prove that everything goes okay, you guys can stay together when Andy can apply for a residence when he turns 18. So this brings in Sally Hawkins, who plays the character of Laura, who decides to take in these two, Andy and Piper. When they arrive at her house, there's also another child there who is called Oliver, played by Jonah Wren Phillips. However, this foster parent may not be as she seems. So what did I think of Bring Her Back? Well, firstly, A24 is always a hit and miss for me. It's definitely a big love-hate relationship. There's times where I am really enamored by their projects and I think, wow, this is an A24 movie, or wow, they made this movie, and it really blows me away. But then there's other times where I just think, okay, are they going too weird for the sake of being weird? In the case of Bring Her Back, I would like to say that this is a fine balance I found. Firstly, the cinematography is absolutely awesome as always. They have a really visual, artistic style to how they're able to capture film. And I do appreciate, I believe that there is no other film studio capturing that artistic flair like A24 does. You know when you're watching an A24 movie for most part. Now the performances throughout, everyone does a really good job. But I do want to shout out Sally Hawkins, who plays the character of Laura, as she is the sweet, lovable Sally Hawkins that we all know, but there's definitely a sinister side to her, and I think this shows that she has to have a lot more fun and a lot more range than the usual acting performances we see from her, which are always great, but she takes it up to another level. However, if there was an Oscar category for the best child teenage actor, Jonah Wren Phillips would get that. This kid is maniacal, and this kid has got a lot to work with, especially being at a very young age. And I think the way that they convey this on screen and the way the performance is captured by Jonah is truly magical. There's also a lot of blood, gore and body horror, so if you like that in your horror movies, Bring Her Back will definitely satisfy that itch, because there is a few moments I noticed in my audience which was pretty packed, where people were like, you know, like the hands on their mouth, like biting nails, or like shrugging like this and getting that kind of cold shudders and the goosebumps. They got those feelings, and even me, there was one particular scene involving a knife that had me like, oh no, you know, no way, you know, don't go there. I got those feelings. So that in itself is definitely something to marvel at. They were able to get a reaction from the audience. My final positive for Bring Her Back would definitely be the themes and messaging that this movie conveys. Danny and Michael Philippou, the brothers, are known for grief with Talk to Me. This is absolutely no different. There's a theme of grief. There's also a big theme of a vulnerability. Sora Wong is visually impaired. In the world, unfortunately, there is people who are vulnerable who get advantage taken of them in that position where maybe they don't know what's going on. Maybe they're relying on someone else to help them. And this definitely has that underlying as a theme. And it just goes to show that, okay, when you're in kind of a perilous situation, what can you do to help yourself? But also, how much are you actually relying on someone else to help you? So I do have many positives when it comes to Bring Her Back, but I do have some negatives that unfortunately stops me from giving this a 4-5-star rating. Now, those negatives would be, it took me personally around 45 to 50 minutes to be fully engrossed with Bring Her Back and truly care about the movie that I was seeing. We're spending this time building up our characters. We're spending the time to have a bit of a slower pace to get to the build-up of where we're going. But in that time, it does leave you with questions, which is great to be lingered on with and get those answers eventually. But I feel like the pacing is a little bit mundane at times in the sequences, and there could have been 1 or 2 sequences that were sped up a little bit to get us to the exciting parts a little bit quicker. Because in this screening, there is a few people that actually walked out in that time. So it just goes to show that this isn't going to work for everyone. But also in that time, you have to capture the audience attention. And as I say, it took nearly an hour for me to fully be like, right, I'm on board. Okay, how is this going to play out? Let's see what's going to go on. I was sat back in my chair, I was relaxed, and I was like, okay, I'm in for the ride. But it took me some time to get there. So unfortunately, I do feel like that pacing is going to affect a lot of people. And that is ultimately my biggest negative with Bring Her Back. So I'm going to give this a score ultimately of a 3 out of 5 stars. Not a bad movie at all, or one that I probably would rewatch later on down the line. But right now, I'm not in a rush to do so. But have you seen this movie? Are you going to check it out? Leave a comment down below so we can continue the discussion down there. Thank you for checking out this video, and in the meantime, if you haven't seen these videos of mine, maybe you've missed out on them, maybe you didn't even know about them, well, click over here, have yourself a bit of a deep dive. Till the next time that I see you guys, I'll be seeing you later.